Hi everyone! Today's lesson is on integer number lines, and we want to be able to use number lines in both directions, both positive and negative. I linked your template to the calendar, and it's really important that you use your template for this particular video because you are going to have a number line that's a little interactive for you. So please go ahead, take that template, print it out, follow the directions in terms of cutting it out and pasting it into your notebook. You have two pieces that are just flat pastes, and then obviously your number line is more of a three-dimensional piece. So just to show you kind of what I mean, you should have your number line pasted onto your notebook with almost thinking about like a piece of tape sticking on either end, like from here and then from here, just on your arrows. But before you do that, you want to take the original rectangle from the template, wrap that around the number line so that there's a window in the front, and tape it on the back. Not taping it to the number line, but just taping it so that you kind of create this little loop around your number line. That piece specifically should be able to slide up and down your number line freely, so that's why I would like it not taped to the number line. So that was a little complicated, but let's start. We want to look at writing integers for several scenarios, right? So integers, again, as a reminder, are positive and negative numbers, and we want to make sure that we're always using integers when appropriate. So example number 1 says there's a loss of 82 pounds. So no matter where you are, you're going in the negative direction. Some people might say, well, isn't that just subtraction? Yes, it is, but we need to start thinking about subtraction as negative numbers, as adding a negative value. So the loss of 82 pounds would be represented with negative 82. A bonus of $200 is an additional sum of money that you're getting, so it's a positive $200. Again, when we write positive numbers, we don't always include a positive sign because we assume any number that's unsigned is positive, but just for this particular exercise, we're going to use our signs. Number 3, 342 BC. BC is a value that represents time, and BC is actually considered before the universe officially began. So 0 BC is when we switch from BC to AD in terms of time, and AD is the unit of measurement that we use today. Technically, right now we're in 2014 AD, but we don't really call it that. So considering this is before the B helps you think about before, we're actually at negative 342 years. Number 4 says 630 feet above sea level. Whenever you think of sea level, you always want to think of that as being your 0 point, right? If you go to the ocean and you're standing on the very edge of the beach, right where the water hits the land, that is sea level. That is the 0 level. So if you're 630 feet above sea level, that means you're going in a positive direction. You're either up on a cliff or at a lighthouse or something like that. And lastly, 339 degrees Celsius below 0. Again, anytime you're looking at below 0, it's a negative number. So those are just a few examples on where we see integers in the world around us, right? So the examples on the bottom of your page, I do want you to think about using your number line, and we're going to do that in this particular way. Number 1, the example says 5 plus 6. So if I scrolled over to the 5 and I wanted to increase by a value of 6, I could say 5 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which would actually almost be off my number line, right? Which is a value of 11. So my answer is positive 11. Number 2 starts us down at negative 3, and this is just kind of like our app, right, where we start at a certain value, we have to confirm that we're at the right value, and then we carry out the instructions. So we start at negative 3, and we're adding negative 5. So we have to go to the left, to the right, to the left, sorry, to the left, negative 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so my solution would be -8, right? A few of these problems are going to be off of the number line, particularly 4, 5, and 6, but I did want you to have the number line there as a tool to remind you when you are thinking about adding and subtracting integers that a number line is a great resource to use. If you want to draw in your own number line for 4, 5, and 6, you can. I'm sure if you Googled integer number line, you'd also come up with a different image, so you can use that as well. That's totally up to you. Your proof problem for today is a little interesting. The first question says, what are 0 pairs? And the second question says, what is an additive inverse? These are both things that we learned about in class, and I want to see what your interpretation of those definitions would be.